On Montana's news station.
Nice to have you along tonight. At 8:12 in the morning on March 5th of 2009, downtown Bozeman was rocked by a huge natural gas explosion. The news station's Mark Martello looks back at that dark day which claimed the life of a local woman.
The explosion, which destroyed 4 buildings, killed Tara Restad Bowman after she had just turned 37. She was working in the Montana Trails Gallery at the time of the blast, talking on her cell phone when her life was snuffed out.
I'm here on Babcock Street on the south side of Main Street, and as you can see behind me, fire crews are still battling flames and a lot of smoke from an apparent explosion that rocked downtown Bozeman early this morning. Reports of the explosion started coming in just before 8 a.m.
911, what is the address of the emergency?
Yeah, there's a pretty good explosion down on, look like Main Street, east of...
What kind of explosion, do you know?
I saw stuff flying in the air. It was just a big explosion. I saw stuff flying everywhere. I'm looking now where the dust is. It's looks like Bozeman in Maine, maybe.
The explosion and fire destroyed Boodle's Restaurant, the Rocket R Bar, the Montana Trails Gallery, the American Legion Building, and Lily Lou's Children's Store. Windows were shattered and roofs damaged as much as 2 blocks away. Officials said the blast was centered in Boodle's. A fire fed by a still and continuously leaking gas line burned into the night before crews could stop the flow of gas.
I had just gotten up, I was checking my email at my house, and my house shook like somebody had dropped a car outside of it or something. My whole house jumped about 3 inches in the air, so I actually work at McKenzie River and came down to see if everyone was okay and if I could help clean up because I figured glass would be broken.
In the early stages of the blaze, officials feared that as many as 11 people were lost because of the explosion. 10 of those people were quickly found to be safe. But as great as the loss was, Governor Brian Schweitzer reminded the city that it could have been much worse. A little later in the morning, and downtown streets would have been more crowded, and there may have been much more staff and customers in the businesses. Once the fires were out, attention turned to returning the downtown business district to normal. People rallied to support the many small businesses, but even though cleanup started almost at once and Main Street was open within days, progress soon ground to a halt while a complicated investigation sought the cause of the catastrophe.
We are convinced there is no leak in the main line. The leak was in the 2-inch service line between the main and the meter. Northwestern Energy owns that line, that 2-inch line where the leak was found.
Since Northwestern's finding, 10 lawsuits have been filed against the company by businesses damaged or destroyed and the Bowman family. Northwestern says the explosion was an accident, an act of nature, and that it is not responsible. The first of those lawsuits not likely to be heard in court for at least another year. In the meantime, construction is underway on just one of the former buildings, and a huge gap remains along Bozeman's Main Street, just a couple of blocks from City Hall. I'm Mark Martello for Montana's news station.
The community continues to grieve over the loss of 2 Hellgate High School freshmen after a car struck and killed them near East Missoula Saturday. That story